So this is going to be the push workout. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Now remember, I'm going to show you each individual workout and exercise, and then I'm going to show you some modifications for it as well moving forward. We're going to get started, and we're going to start off with the chest press. So with the chest press, going with the bands only option, I'm sure some of you have seen me actually use attachments like bars and things of that nature, and if you guys want to know more about that, I can show that to you too at another time. But for the sake of this training, for this challenge, we're going to be just using bands by themselves. So we're going to take the big loop, we're going to put it around our back, okay? Now this is going to be the move for most people. This is what most of us are going to do. Now if you see where it is along my back here, I have it over right above or my mid upper back, okay? You need to find what works best for you. Some people, it might be better to have it on the upper back. And that's fine for me too. It just kind of depends on where you are. Now you always want to make sure we don't keep any slack. See that slack? That is not what we want. We want it to be nice and taut and ready to go. Now, see my shoulders are all ready. They're folded back. The band itself is going across the palm of my hands. So right across the palm. At no time am I pushing with my hands like this, my wrists. My wrists are always going to be forward, kind of like I'm punching or something. So, and now my forearms, I got to fix those now. See, my forearms at all times are going to be parallel with the ground, okay? So as I press out, watch my forearms. My forearms stay parallel with the ground, and I'm kind of pushing down almost at a downward angle, and then I'm coming back, okay? Slow and steady. And then as I'm coming forward, I'm pressing my hands together. Okay, and if you notice, I'm not keeping my hands, they're not like this, my fist. I always want to keep them down. And now that does something. So instead of having your hands like this and pressing, before you start pressing, palms down, and look at my elbows. It automatically goes out to the side. It pushes my elbows out and puts it in more of a natural position. And before I start, my shoulders are not forward. My shoulders are always rolled back and locked and engaged and ready to go. And so hands are not like this. They're going to be like this, palms down. Okay? So again, find the area that's more comfortable for you up top. Palms down. Forearms are parallel to the ground. And then we're going to press forward. Bring our hands together and then back. Okay. Now, if you're using a smaller band, you may need to play a little bit to find out, to keep it from rolling up and down your back. Okay. You have to play around a little bit. The key is to find that spot and then get your forearms parallel to the ground. So that way it adds constant tension. So that way when you're moving, it's not going to roll, okay? If you keep it kind of slack and you move it, there we go, it's gonna slide. So we gotta make sure that we find the right spot for you. It could be a little lower on the upper back, could be a little higher, just depends on the individual. Everyone's built a little bit differently. And then we wanna have our forearms. When you bring your forearms down and they're parallel, you start to press. Now you are looking good to go. Also, something to keep in mind, if you need to add more weight, say this band by itself, say if you only got these two bands, the orange and the purple. Say if you need more resistance for the chest press, double them up. Just put both of them on, okay? And that way, and then all of a sudden now you have additional resistance. And it's always slow and controlled. We're not throwing it through. Always is going to be slow and controlled movements. Parallel, forearms are parallel to the ground. Slow and controlled. Next move is going to be tricep press or push down. So I'm going to give you a couple of different options for this one. So again, make sure you choose the right weight. So what we're going to be looking up here, we're going to set up very similar to the chest press, but see, I'm going a little bit lower. So it's almost under my shoulder blades here. Okay. So now, instead of pushing here, we're going to raise our arms up a little bit. We're trying to keep our arms almost, the back of our arms almost parallel. So our hands are not in like this. Again, we're going to go palm down, our palms facing forward, and then we're going to press out. Okay? Press out. This is a tricep extension. Okay? Now, another one. If you do this one, make sure this is a tricep press down, just using your body as an anchor. You do not want it around your neck. This is not what we want. See how it's around my traps. Around my traps. And you might want to make sure you get a jacket, a sweatshirt, a towel, if it's going to be pushing against your neck at all, or if it feels like it's too much pressure or tension on you. So, again, it is not on my neck. So now our starting position is not here. I am, however, going to take my elbows. They stay locked into my side. And now this is my starting position. There's already tension on the band. Okay? And then I'm going to press down. And I come back and I stop here. This is where, again, my forearms are parallel to the ground. And press down. And back up. And press down. And back up. Okay? Down and back up. Slow and controlled. Always. Another option is to use your door anchor that I gave you, or if you have a pull-up bar in your house, and you can use that too. But if the door anchor, this is one of the options that you can do. You can take the door anchor and anchor it as high as you can on the door, okay? And then you're going to take the band, once it's hanging, grab it where it's even on both sides, elbows locked into our side. We're going to bend just a little bit at the waist. Knees are not locked. We keep them slightly bent. Shoulders are always back before we start. And the starting position is here, okay? Then we're going to press down. And then we come back up, stop where the forearms are parallel to the ground, and press back down, okay? And we want to make sure we have enough slack to when we press down that the band, our hands are still able to go on both sides of our body. But our elbows are always locked into our side. We're never doing this with the elbows. All right, our next move is going to be the shoulder press. So we're going to take the band, a big loop, and put it, and just step on the band, okay? As you can see here. And I'm going to step out about shoulder width apart. Now, before we start this movement, we don't just pull it up and start here, okay? What we want to do, if you need a chair, you can use the chair to do it. Let me put this here so you can see. I'm just going to use the chair for safety reasons in case you need it. But we're going to come down and sit, okay? Bring this up, and now you stand back up. So now you can tell I'm in a safer position instead of just rolling my back and just trying to jerk. So as you can see here, the band is in front of my chest. Elbows are in my natural position out. I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to overextend them backwards. I'm just in a natural position. And now I'm just going to press straight up. But as I press straight up, my arms kind of might go all the way up for a good contraction, and I'm bringing my hands together. But watch from the side what my arms do. So as I press, I'm not pressing out this way. I am pressing up and back. So almost like my head is peeking through a windowsill, right? You see my nose through my arms. So down, I'm going to stop. I'm not coming all the way down here. I'm coming down right in front of the band is in front of my mouth. And then I'm going to press back up, okay? You're going to keep going there. Now, look at my knees. My knees are not locked. my knees are soft. Pretty much every movement we're going to do, you're going to notice my knees are never completely locked like this. They're always going to be a little bit locked. A little bit soft. Now, if you're having neck issues and you can't press over your head with the regular shoulder press, I'm going to give you a little bit of a different option. You can take your orange band here, you can double it up, or you can just keep it single, depending on what your fitness level is. So shoulders are going to be back, locked and engaged. You're going to straighten your arms, okay? And then you're going to watch my wrists. They're going to turn out, okay? And as you can see, my arms are by my side. My shoulders are back, locked, engaged, they're straight, and my wrists are now turning outwards, okay? And then all I'm going to do is try to move my hands away from each other, out this way, okay? And that's the movement. It's kind of like doing side laterals, right? It's like doing side laterals, but you don't have to go the entire way up, and it's still going to work and tax the muscle and do what we want it to do of the shoulder, okay? So again, arms down, shoulders are back, arms are straight, wrist out, and then out to the side. And then we just go until we can't move it and come back in. Out till we can't move it and come back in. So now I'm going to show you how to do a front squat with bands. Now, if you have knee issues and you can't quite do this, I'm going to give you another alternative, another option. Just skip ahead and you can see the other one, okay? So here we go. So if you're doing a front squat, if you need to use a chair, the chair is right behind you. That's totally fine. And I'll show you what I mean. So we come down, we're going to take the band, we're going to put it over our shoulders, just the front of our shoulders. And we're not going to leave our arms down. Now our arms are going to be up, okay? And you see it under my feet here. And then we're going to stand up. Come down, touch the chair, and back up. Come down, touch the chair, and back up. Now, if you notice what I'm trying to do, the band is moving pretty much straight up and straight down. And watch my knees. I'm never locking them out. I'm keeping them still slightly soft up top. And the reason is I want to keep the tension on my quads, the muscles that I'm working, okay? So that's the front squat. If you don't need the chair, then don't use it. So again, we come down, get into this position, and now we're getting started. And back up, okay? All right, arms in front. Keep your elbows out in front of you. Now, here's the thing for most people that I come across. When they bend, they can't keep their chest up. They come down and they're doing this. They're coming way over. So when you come way over, you're working your hamstrings and your butt a lot more. So that's something we're going to focus on pull day. So what I recommend doing is a couple things. If you have like a 2x4 or something, you can elevate your feet. If you have books, you can get 2 books, the exact same size, put them under your heels. Now your heels are elevated, and now you can squat down easier, okay? And then if you still need a chair, the chair's still there, right? As a guide, boom, up. What I personally like to use most of the time is I have these wedges, okay? So we put those right in front. Move them down so you can actually see them. Put those in front of the chair. So now, when I go to sit, arms are up. It's right there. And now I can even just have my heels elevated here. I can feel the actual quads activating, okay? So keep that in mind. That's something that could come in handy for you. If you don't have the ankle mobility to keep yourself straight up. Just elevate your heels, going to make a really, really big difference for you. You can also do this move, by the way, without a band. So if your knees are kind of okay, But let's say even the lightest band is just too much for you right now, then let's just do it without the bands, right? Elevate your heels and put your arms out in front of you and slow and controlled. Now let me show you another alternative if you do have knee issues. All right, so now we're gonna use the door anchor. So you're gonna have it anchored about waist height and attach your bar. I've stepped inside the band and now I have it, it's not around my waist, just around the top of my butt, right below my hip bone, which is right here, okay? So now here's the thing, what you wanna do. You're gonna start up on the ball of your foot with one leg, the other one is down. You're just going to step back, and then now the other leg is down, and then step back, okay? And now we're gonna slowly move back forward, and then forward. So we're going ball of the foot to the heel, but we're pressing back, so from the ball. And then we're pressing back from the ball. And then we're slowly walking forward, heel, toe, heel, toe. Now we're doing toe, heel, and toe, heel. Now if you're pressing, actual pressing back with your, see I'm pressing back and my heel is off the ground. If you're pressing back, you're gonna feel your actual quad light up here, okay? So again, we're starting off pressing back, toe, heel, toe, heel. Now you probably will have to lean back a little bit, and back again. You're just gonna keep going until we tire out here. Just like everything else we talked about in the beginning, going to at least 15 reps each side, but you can always go more, always go more. So, but before you start this, see how there's no slack. I'm back. So if there was slack, it would look like this. See how this is loose? That's not what we want. We want it slack and taut. We don't want any slack, we want it taut. So before you start, get in the band, move back until it's nice and taut. Say if that red band is not enough, and let's say you only got 3 bands. You got the orange, purple, and red. Mix and match. You can put them all together and use them for extra resistance if you need it. If you only need a little bit of resistance, start with a small band and work your way up. Okay, it's all about just getting you moving in a safe and healthy manner. Okay, doing this over and over again can really help strengthen our knees. So choose the right weight and then let me know how everything worked out, guys. All right, so now we're done with our actual first workout day. So what you're going to do here, you can do it on a door frame and kind of get in and stretch your chest out a little bit, or if you have a chair, you can get down if you have the mobility and just kind of stretch out the chest, and you want to hold it for at least 30 seconds, okay? Now the next one is we're gonna stretch out our triceps. Same thing, you have a chair here, we're gonna get down and we're just gonna drop down and feel the stretch in the actual tricep. Again, you could use a door frame for this. So if you get in a door frame, you're just gonna push on the door frame and then just kind of lean into it to kind of feel that same stretch. Now shoulders, you can also use the door frame for this too, where you're just gonna get in to the door frame and you'll lean back to where it shows additional pressure here to kind of stretch your shoulders. But if you have a chair, you can get down, drop down, and just feel the stretch again in between your shoulders that you just worked out. Again, hold it for at least 30 seconds. Now for stretch our quads out, grab a chair if you need it for balance. We're going to take our leg and watch my foot. I'm flexing it, keeping my knee against my other knee, and I'm just flexing my ankle so I feel it in my quad. If I don't flex it, I'm not going to feel the stretch as much. Flex this, and it intensifies the stretch through the actual quad muscle. And that's it, guys. That's the end of our first day of working out. Let me know how it goes.